All right, let's jump into another deep dive. And today we're tackling something a lot of you flagged as pretty crucial, and that's finding ways to, well, kind of heal some of the damage we've done to this planet.
Hmm.
And we're talking land restoration, but like on a whole new level.
Right.
I mean, we've all heard about deforestation and pollution turning like fertile ground into wasteland, haven't we?
Yeah.
The traditional fixes, though, they're slow and often they just can't keep up.
You're right. The problem is urgent. In 2025, the scale of land degradation is massive. But what's exciting is that we have some new research on what's being called Bio-Solar Terraforming. And it's a whole suite of technologies.
Oh,
They're
wow.
using things like solar power and AI to not just restore the land, but make it even better than it was before.
Yeah, when I saw this in the sources, my jaw kind of dropped, like turning air into water,
Yeah.
forests that practically manage themselves. I mean, this deep dive is going to break down how this stuff works, but also why it matters so much to all of us.
It's about more than just planting trees. We're talking about the potential to combat climate change, improve food security, and really change the trajectory of our planet's health.
Okay, so the research lays out 5 main technologies that make up this biosolar terraforming thing.
Right.
First up is something called solar-powered microbial bioreactors. Now, I'll admit, when I first saw, microbes, I pictured something kind of gross.
Yeah,
But it turns out these microscopic critters are the foundation of healthy soil.
exactly. These bioreactors, which are surprisingly small, about the size of a shoebox,
Huh.
they're packed with beneficial bacteria and fungi, and when they're placed in damaged soil, they get to work breaking down pollutants and enriching the soil, making it possible for plants to take root and grow again.
So it's like a microscopic cleanup crew paving the way for a comeback. This research mentions a case study where they used these bioreactors in an area contaminated with pesticides, and over time, those microbes actually neutralized the harmful chemicals, and the land started to come back to life. Pretty amazing, right?
It is, and it leads to some interesting questions. For example, could this technology be used to heal land damaged by things like oil spills or industrial waste? I mean, the potential applications are vast.
Right. Okay, from the tiny world of microbes, we're going high-tech and airborne. The next technology is AI-controlled drone reforestation. Basically, swarms of drones planting millions of trees. We're talking reforestation at warp speed.
It's not just about speed, though. The AI is critical here. It analyzes the terrain, figures out the best spots to plant each type of tree, and even monitors their growth. Think about areas that are hard for humans to reach, like steep mountains or places hit by wildfires.
Sure.
Drones can get in there easily, and the AI makes sure those seedlings have the best chance of survival.
The research actually says drone reforestation can be up to 100 times faster than doing it by hand.
Right.
Plus, each seed pod is packed with nutrients to help it thrive. Now, this makes me wonder, if this technology could be used anywhere, what are some of the trickiest spots we could reforest? What would be the biggest wins?
There are so many possibilities. Imagine restoring rainforests or even bringing life back to deserts. This technology really pushes the boundaries of what's possible in land restoration. But it also brings up questions about how we manage these efforts. Could planting on this scale have unintended consequences for native plants or existing ecosystems? These are things we need to consider.
That's a great point. Okay, brace yourself, because this next one sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie. It's called electrostatic water harvesting.
Okay?
You're telling me we can create water out of thin air?
It does sound like magic, doesn't it?
It does.
But it's actually based on some pretty old science. These devices use solar power to generate an electrostatic charge that attracts and condenses water molecules from the air.
Hmm.
Essentially, you're pulling moisture right out of the atmosphere.
So it's like a solar-powered dehumidifier.
Yeah,
But instead of just collecting water, it's actually creating a new source of water in places where it's desperately needed. The research specifically mentions how this could revolutionize farming in water-scarce areas.
Instead of relying on rain or expensive irrigation, you could potentially farm in the middle of the desert.
Exactly. Think about the impact this could have on food security, especially in regions facing drought or desertification. It could be transformative.
Absolutely. Okay, from water in the air to intelligence in the forest, the next technology on our list is self-sustaining smart forests.
Hmm.
So this one is fascinating. Imagine a forest that is constantly monitoring itself, using sensors to track things like soil moisture, tree health, and even potential pest outbreaks. Then, using AI, it makes adjustments in real time, automatically taking care of things like irrigation, fertilization, and pest control.
So you're saying these forests can basically manage themselves. What does self-sustaining really mean in this context? Are we talking zero human intervention?
That's a great question. Self-sustaining in this case means that the forest can thrive for long periods with minimal human interference. The AI system is designed to learn and adapt, constantly optimizing itself based on the data it collects.
That's incredible. It's like creating a forest that's resilient and adaptable enough to survive for generations. But it also makes me wonder, where do we draw the line between assisting nature and controlling it? Are there ethical considerations we need to think about when it comes to AI managing our ecosystems?
You're right to raise that point. As with any powerful technology, we need to think carefully about the implications and ensure that we're using it responsibly.
All right, ready for the grand finale of our tech tour. The fifth and final technology is carbon capturing algae farms. Now, we know algae is good at absorbing CO2, but this takes it to a whole new level.
Algae are incredibly efficient at capturing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, even better than trees.
Wow.
And they can thrive in a variety of environments, including places that have been polluted. So we're not just talking about cleaning the air, we're talking about restoring land at the same time.
The research actually highlights a case where they used an algae farm to revitalize a polluted mining site. They basically turned a wasteland into an environmental asset. It's pretty remarkable.
It is. The algae absorb the CO2, release oxygen, and as they grow, they enrich the soil with organic matter, making it suitable for planting trees or crops. You're essentially tackling climate change and land restoration in one go.
This has major implications for fighting climate change on a global scale, doesn't it? I mean, if we could scale up algae farming, we could be pulling massive amounts of CO2 out of the atmosphere.
Absolutely. And it could create new economic opportunities, as algae can be used for a variety of purposes, from biofuels to fertilizers. It's a solution with a lot of potential.
So we've covered some pretty mind-blowing tech.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the individual pieces, right? It's how they all fit together that makes biosolar terraforming so groundbreaking.
You've hit the nail on the head. What's so innovative here is that we're not just patching things up, we're creating self-sustaining ecosystems. The goal is for these restored landscapes to thrive for generations to come with, well, minimal human intervention.
And that's the real game changer, right? It's not just about fixing the damage we've done. It's about creating systems that are even better than what was there before. Deserts blooming with life, polluted land turned into oases, forests that can actually weather the storms of climate change. We're talking about a whole new level of resilience.
Absolutely. This is where the potential of biosolar terraforming really shines. It allows us to move beyond simply restoring what was lost to actually enhancing nature's ability to thrive. It's about working with natural processes, not against them, to create a more harmonious balance between humans and the environment.
It's like shifting our whole mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Instead of just trying to hold back the tide of degradation, we're creating new possibilities, even in the most challenging environments. It's exciting, but it also raises some important questions.
It does. As we embrace these technologies, we need to be mindful of their implications. What does it mean to have AI playing such a central role in shaping our natural world? How do we ensure that these interventions are truly beneficial in the long run?
It's not about rejecting technology, it's about using it wisely and ethically. We need to be thoughtful about the potential consequences and make sure we're not creating unintended problems down the road. Like with the drone reforestation, it's amazing how much faster we could plant trees, but could that speed come at the cost of disrupting existing ecosystems?
You're right to bring that up. It's a delicate balance. We need to remember that even the most well-intentioned actions can have unintended consequences, especially when we're dealing with complex systems like ecosystems. That's why ongoing monitoring and adaptation are so crucial. We can't just set it and forget it. We need to be constantly learning and adjusting our approach.
So we've got this powerful combination of technology and ecology, but let's not forget the human element. At the end of the day, it's people who are driving this change, the scientists, the engineers, the everyday folks who are demanding action and working towards a more sustainable future.
Absolutely. It's a testament to human ingenuity and our inherent desire to solve problems and create a better world. Biosolar terraforming wouldn't be possible without the passion and dedication of countless individuals who are committed to making a difference.
And it's a reminder that we all have a role to play. It's not just about the big technological solutions, it's about the choices we make every day, how we consume, how we vote, how we engage with our communities.
Right. We can support policies that promote sustainable land management. We can choose to buy products from companies that are committed to environmental responsibility. We can even just spend more time in nature, connecting with the world we're trying to protect. It all adds up.
Speaking of adding up, how do we actually measure the success of these efforts? Is it just about how many trees we plant or how much land we restore, or is there more to it?
It's definitely more nuanced than just looking at acreage or tree counts. We need to consider the long-term impact on biodiversity, soil health, water quality, and carbon sequestration. Are we creating ecosystems that are truly resilient and self-sustaining? That's the ultimate goal.
And what about the social and economic impacts? Are we creating jobs? Are we improving food security for local communities? Are we empowering people to become stewards of their own land? These are all crucial factors in determining whether these efforts are truly successful.
You're hitting on a really important point. Sustainability isn't just about the environment, it's about people too. We need to make sure that the benefits of these technologies are shared equitably and that everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
It's about creating a future that's not just sustainable, but also just and equitable. So we've talked about the potential benefits of biosolar terraforming, but are there any potential downsides we need to be aware of?
That's a crucial question. As with any new technology, there's always the potential for unintended consequences. We need to be careful not to over-rely on technology as a solution. Nature is complex, and our understanding of it is still limited. There's always the risk of unforeseen outcomes.
It's like walking a tightrope, right? We want to push the boundaries of what's possible, but we also need to be cautious and make sure we're not doing more harm than good.
Exactly. And that means being transparent about the risks, monitoring the results closely, and being willing to adapt our approach as we learn more. We need to be humble enough to admit when we're wrong and to change course if necessary.
So it's about striking that balance between optimism and caution, between pushing the boundaries of innovation while also respecting the complexity of the natural world. It feels like, we're on the verge of like a whole new chapter in how we approach the environment. We've always talked about restoration, but biosolar terraforming it feels different. It's not just fixing what's broken. It's using technology to help nature thrive. I mean, in a way we've just never seen before.
It's definitely a paradigm shift, and it's happening at a time when we need these kinds of solutions more than ever. I mean, climate change, biodiversity loss, resource depletion, these are all massive challenges and are all interconnected.
Right.
Biosolar terraforming offers a way to address multiple problems all at the same time, which is incredibly exciting.
One thing that really struck me as we were going through all this research is it's not just about the technology itself, it's about a change in mindset. Instead of seeing ourselves as separate from nature or even in conflict with it, we're starting to understand that we're part of the ecosystem.
That's a key point, I think. We're moving from a mindset of exploitation to one of stewardship.
Right.
We're realizing that the health of the planet is, well, inextricably linked to our own well-being. When we damage the environment, we're ultimately harming ourselves.
And I think that realization is sinking in for a lot of people. We're seeing this, global movement growing with more and more people commanding action on climate change, fighting to protect our forests and oceans, and really trying to shift our whole culture towards a more sustainable way of living.
There's a real sense of urgency, but also a sense of hope. People are realizing that we have the power to change course, to create a better future for ourselves and for generations to come.
And technologies like biosolar terraforming are giving us the tools to make this happen. It's not a magic bullet, of course, but it's a powerful reminder that we have the ingenuity and the resources to address these challenges. The question is, will we use them?
I believe we were. The momentum is building. More and more people are waking up to the reality of the climate crisis and demanding solutions. And they're seeing that solutions like biosolar terraforming are not just pipe dreams. They're feasible, they're scalable, and they have the potential to make a real difference.
So where do we go from here? What are the next steps in making this vision a reality? It seems like there are so many moving parts. The technology, the policy, the social awareness. Where do we even begin?
It can feel overwhelming, absolutely. But I think the key is to focus on action, both on a collective and individual level.
Yeah.
We need governments to invest in research and development, to create policies that support sustainable land management, and to incentivize the adoption of these technologies.
And we need businesses to, step up and embrace these innovations, to see the economic opportunities in creating a more sustainable future.
Exactly. But it's not just about top-down solutions. Individual actions matter too. Each of us can make choices in our daily lives that reduce our environmental footprint. We can support companies that are committed to sustainability. We can advocate for change in our communities. And we can even just spend more time in nature, fostering that connection to the world we're trying to protect. It all adds up.
I love that. It's about recognizing that we all have agency, that even small actions can contribute to a larger movement. It can be as simple as planting a tree in your backyard or talking to your friends and family about these issues.
Right. It's about shifting the culture, raising awareness, and creating a collective sense of responsibility for the health of our planet. And I think that's already happening. People are starting to understand that our future is not predetermined. It's something we create together through our choices and our actions.
And Bio-Solar Terraforming offers a glimpse of what that future could look like. Imagine a world where deserts bloom with life, where polluted land is transformed into fertile ground, where forests thrive and help to stabilize our climate. It's an inspiring vision, and it's one that I think is within our reach.
I agree. It's a vision that's both ambitious and achievable, and it's a vision that requires us to bring together the best of human ingenuity, technological innovation, and our deep connection to the natural world.
It's a reminder that even in the face of daunting challenges, there is hope, and it's through collaboration, innovation, and a deep respect for the planet that we can create a future where both humanity and nature thrive.
This deep dive has been a fascinating exploration of the possibilities. It's clear that biosolar terraforming has the potential to be a game changer in how we approach land restoration and really our relationship with the planet.
And for everyone listening, remember, this is just the beginning. The more we learn about these technologies, the more we talk about them, the more we demand action, the closer we get to making this vision a reality. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing for a more sustainable future.
It's a future worth fighting for.
Ooh, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious.